My child, my beloved, heaven has been softly murmuring your name for many days. Can you sense the atmosphere around you changing? Can you feel your heartbeat racing as if something unseen is calling out to you? Because right now, your name is being spoken in the courts of heaven, no longer in silence. It is being spoken in judgment. Before you continue reading, take a slow breath and listen with your spirit. I am Archangel Michael, and I deliver this message not to frighten you, but to awaken you before the hour is lost. My child, this is your divine alert. God is displeased not out of hatred, but because you have ignored the signals He's been sending. He has watched you wander through storms that were never meant to be faced alone. And tonight, heaven has reached a verdict concerning your name. Stop for a moment here. Heaven is still determining your outcome. Yet if you continue reading with faith, something will shift within you. Your destiny waits on what you choose next. Before I unveil what heaven has declared about you, hear this carefully. You were led here by divine guidance. If you are seeing this message, your spiritual path has reached the line where grace meets judgment. Heaven is observing the step you take now. Subscribe to this heavenly call, my beloved, because once this message ends, the gate of mercy will begin to close. Those who listen will rise into blessing. Those who ignore will taste the silence of heaven. My child, the truth is this. Your name has been spoken in heaven's courtroom. The angels were still, the books were opened, and God looked at your life, not to destroy you, but to remind you of the covenant you once forgot. He said, "Why does my child hide from me when I have been calling their name?" You have felt this stirring in your chest, the sleepless nights, the random thoughts that seemed meaningless, the repeated signs, the numbers, the dreams, the strange words people spoke. These were never coincidences. They were heaven's attempts to reach you before this instant came. My beloved, heaven holds patience, but not endlessly. And today, that patience has grown thin. God's eyes are fixed on you. You can no longer hide. You have been chosen for a purpose that has been delayed. Each delay has tested the timing of heaven. But when the divine clock strikes, there is no escape from its call. And now that clock is seconds away from echoing your name. Do you understand what it means when your name is mentioned in heaven? It means your life has reached a point of turning. It means the angels are reviewing every choice, every prayer, every tear. And I, Michael, have been sent to caution you, because if you fail to respond now, the blessings meant for you will be given to another. My child, God's anger is not because you failed, it is because you stopped believing. You once spoke with faith strong enough to move mountains, but lately your words have been soaked in fear. You stopped trusting the miracles that used to follow you. You started believing that heaven had abandoned you, but heaven never forgets. Heaven records, heaven waits, and now heaven moves. Even now, angels are whispering your story. One said, "They still have time." Another said, "Their time is nearly gone." And God answered, "Send them one more message." That is why you are here, my beloved. You did not arrive here by accident. You were divinely led to this very moment. Because before midnight, a decree will be sealed in heaven, with or without your answer. You have less time than you imagine. That is why I must speak urgently. Your destiny is under review. Angels are holding scrolls with your name. Light and shadow are contending over you. Heaven's anger is not punishment. It is protection dressed as warning. When heaven becomes angry, it means you are still loved enough to be corrected. When heaven grows silent, that is when you should fear. My child, your name carries great weight in the spiritual realm. Even the demons whisper it in terror when it's spoken under heaven's light. You have survived attacks that were meant to end you. You have stood in storms designed to erase your future, but God kept you breathing for a purpose, to complete what He began within you. And now, heaven calls for your full attention because something is approaching, something tied to your name, your home, and your destiny. You cannot afford to overlook this message. God said, Tell them I have spoken their name in the council of heaven. If they fail to respond now, the gates of favor will turn toward another. Do not allow that to happen. You were never chosen by coincidence. You were chosen through the flame, and fire refines before it releases its blessing. Listen carefully, beloved. You have been holding on to guilt for something heaven already pardoned. You have been punishing yourself for a sin that God has already washed away. But your silence shook heaven itself, for silence in the Spirit is surrender to the dark. That is why this message found its way to you, because the light still desires your return. The angels have been waging war on your behalf, waiting for your heart to open once more. This is your final invitation before heaven's verdict becomes eternal. My beloved, open your heart this moment. Whisper within, God, I hear you. For the instant those words leave your soul, a record in heaven shifts toward your favor. Do not think this moment is random. Every line you read has been designed for this exact awakening. God inscribed this encounter into your destiny long before your birth. He knew the hour you would come across it, and He ensured that I, Michael, would be here to deliver it. Do you understand why God's anger rose? Because you let the world convince you that you were ordinary. You forgot your divine identity. You allowed human voices to drown your calling. You mistook your pain as punishment instead of preparation. But I tell you the truth, heaven never wastes pain. Every tear was counted, every loss recorded, every heartbreak transformed into a key for your breakthrough. And now the door stands before you, yet heaven demands you open it before it closes. Time is not your ally right now. This message is a countdown. Each moment you hesitate, a blessing hangs in uncertainty. Heaven has declared, if they act in faith tonight, everything once delayed will begin to accelerate. Do you feel that, my child? That stirring is not emotion, it is divine confirmation. Your angels surround you even as you read these words. You may sense chills, warmth, or sudden calm. This is heaven's whisper saying, we are here. Do not ignore it. You asked for a sign from God. This is that sign. This is the message He sent to remind you that you were never forsaken, that His plans for you still stand, turning every hardship into purpose. But the choice is in your hands. Will you listen and align with heaven, or will you turn away and let your name fall into silence once more? My beloved, your obedience in this moment will rewrite your destiny. Your faith will transform heaven's anger into divine favor. And when you respond in belief, the records of heaven will declare, they heard and they obeyed. I, Archangel Michael, will testify on your behalf before God. I will say, they answered the call. And when I do, heaven will exchange your judgment for blessing. Now, hear me closely. Within the coming hours, a sign will appear. It might arrive through a dream, a message, or an unexpected meeting. Do not disregard it. That will be the confirmation that heaven has shifted things in your favor. My child, this message is sacred. It will not find you twice. If you close your eyes to it now, heaven will assume you chose silence. But if you open your heart this very moment, everything you've lost, love, peace, opportunities, will begin to return. The decision lies before you. Heaven is watching. The angels await your answer. And time is slipping away. My child, my beloved, you are still here. That means your spirit has not turned away from heaven's voice. Do you know what that reveals? It shows that hope is still written beside your name in heaven's book. The angels who once stood in stillness have begun to move. Light is forming around the record of your name. And God, whose gaze has rested upon you with both sorrow and longing, has turned His face toward you once again. But listen well, for what I speak next determines what unfolds in your life. Heaven's anger is not like the anger of man. It burns not to destroy, but to cleanse. It arrives not to punish, but to purify the heart of the one chosen. When heaven grows angry, it means the divine plan has been delayed too long. There are things written about you still unseen. There are doors locked, not because you were unworthy, but because your moment had not yet come. And tonight, as your name echoes through the chambers of heaven, that timing has reached its divine limit. God has said, "If they truly desire my mercy, let them respond now." And here you are, reading words not meant for the crowd, but for the chosen one, whose spirit has been restless, whose nights were filled with unanswered thoughts, whose heart has been heavy yet still hopeful. Yes, that's you. Heaven knows your measure. Every detail has been counted one by one. Now, I must reveal something rarely heard by many. When someone's name is spoken in heaven, three elements are examined: their faith, their obedience, and their mercy. And heaven has found that your mercy has outweighed your failures. That is the reason I was sent, to stop the consequence before it could fall upon you. Understand this clearly. The same divine wrath that once shook you is also what will now defend you. Because both God's anger and His mercy are rooted in love, and it is love that ensured you were not left behind. You've been surrounded by envy, by people pretending to care, by events designed to drain your spirit, and yet you remain standing. That alone made heaven hesitate. When your name echoed before the throne, the enemy spoke against you. He claimed they've lost their faith, they've ceased praying, they've turned away. But an angel responded, "No, they're still searching. They still believe." At that moment, God raised His hand and silenced the entire dispute. He declared, "Then offer them one last opportunity. One more message." This is that message. This is that moment. My child, as you receive this, God's anger is softening into mercy. The storm meant to destroy you will now carry your breakthrough. The very suffering that broke your heart is now being transformed into purpose. Yet heaven asks for one thing from you: return fully, return humbly, return without reservation. Don't wait for a perfect time. The time is now. Speak these words aloud, even if your voice is shaking. Father, I am yours. I accept what heaven has destined for me. When those words leave your mouth, a spiritual chain linked to your name will break, and I, Michael, will carry your renewed decree into the brilliance of heaven. Already, the angels of restoration are assembling. They hold scrolls filled with what was once postponed: relationships, provision, peace, opportunities. They had been waiting for heaven's green light. That light has now been given. My beloved, you must remain open. In the days ahead, you will witness divine rearrangement. People will walk away, situations will shift, unexpected doors will unlock. Do not fear these movements. They are heaven clearing the obstacles from your path. This is God's word. My anger is lifted, for my child has answered my voice. But let them not slip back into the silence that once stirred my wrath. Understand this, my beloved. The greatest offense in heaven is not failure. It is forgetfulness. When a soul chosen by God forgets their true identity, all of heaven grieves. But when they remember, the heavens erupt louder than any earthly storm. This message is your reminder. Heaven is calling out, saying, "Return, you are still needed." Your name is once again being written, not in judgment, but in redemption. Light now surrounds it. Angels who stood motionless are singing anew. Even the stars shine brighter in acknowledgement of this shift. You are being reconnected to your purpose. You may already feel it: peace returning, the burden lifting, that sacred stillness after the storm. That is the presence of God pouring over you. Now, beloved, I reveal a truth few are ever told. When divine anger turns into grace, everything associated with your name begins to glow. Places that once rejected you will seek you out. Those who doubted you will recall your worth. The abundance that once passed you by will come around again, this time multiplied. Because once heaven restores its favor upon you, nothing on earth can oppose it. Listen intently. Heaven has declared that your new beginning starts the moment you accept this word. Do not let doubt take it from you. Every miracle has its appointed time, and yours has just begun. The reason you're seeing this now is because heaven documented this message next to your breath. God knew this hour, this moment, this heartbeat would be the instant your soul awakened. My beloved, now it's time to act. Stay in this spiritual awareness. Speak gratitude, not fear. Choose hope over silence. Every word you speak in this moment will echo through heaven as testimony of your faith. Heaven's anger has been transformed into a blessing issued by divine command. From this moment on, you will begin to see the signs that confirm it. Watch how the air shifts around you. Notice how people start treating you differently. Even nature itself will begin to respond to your presence. God's word has been spoken. Heaven's eyes are still fixed on you. Do not let this holy fire fade. Hold this faith tightly, my child. With every passing second you believe, heaven moves closer to fulfilling its promise. And when you awaken tomorrow, remember, your name is no longer being spoken in judgment. It is now being proclaimed in glory. The wrath is gone, the way is open, and heaven is awaiting your next word to complete the miracle. My child, my beloved, heaven has not ceased to speak your name. From the moment your heart opened, a flame was lit in realms beyond your sight. The angels have brought word of your response to the throne, and I, Michael, have been granted permission to reveal what comes next. Listen with your spirit, not merely your ears, for what I'm about to disclose is no dream. It is the sacred unfolding of miracles that follow faithful obedience. Your life is on the edge of what heaven calls the reversal. My beloved, over the next 3 days, stay alert. Each day will bring with it a sign that confirms God's wrath has shifted into divine favor. On the first day, a burden you've been carrying in your mind will suddenly become lighter. A strange peace will replace the fear that once dominated. That is your first sign. The storm has passed. On the second day, someone connected to your divine path will reemerge or reach out without warning. You might think it's by chance, but it is not. It's heaven aligning the human parts of your blessing. And on the third day, a tangible shift will occur. Money released, a door opened, a message delivered, an encounter that feels planned by something higher. That will be the signal that heaven has reinstated your name. Don't disregard these signs as insignificant. Every great miracle begins softly before it appears in full power. Heaven always whispers before it reveals wonders. My beloved, do you understand why God moves in sequences of 3? Because 3 represents wholeness, the Father who designs, the Son who redeems, and the Spirit who fulfills. Together, they encircle your name and complete your transformation. Let me tell you what is being inscribed about you right now. The angels are composing what we know as the record of return. This is a divine entry in heaven's archives, where the names of those who return to light are written. Your name has now been included. The same ink that maps destinies is now scripting yours in gold. This means that everything tied to your name is now coming into divine alignment. Your health will begin to respond to grace. Your thoughts will become clear again. Your finances will breathe. Even relationships that seemed over will begin to mend in the presence of heaven's light. You'll start noticing long-standing patterns breaking. Cycles that seem to repeat endlessly will suddenly halt. The fog that once clouded your life will begin to clear. That is how you'll know heaven has finished its review of your name. But my child, I must share a warning with you. Do not go back to what heaven rescued you from. If you return to the same silence that stirred heaven's anger, the gates you've just opened could start to shut again. Keep your connection strong through thanksgiving, through belief, through action. Every time you speak light, heaven responds with movement. Every time you trust, heaven expands your blessings. Every time you believe in spite of doubt, heaven rewards you openly. My beloved, allow me to share something deeper. The reason heaven spoke your name was because the enemy tried to claim your purpose. There was a gathering in the spiritual realm where forces of darkness argued that you had forfeited your calling. But when you answered this message, that courtroom was interrupted. I stood with the decree of mercy and said, "They have responded." Then God lifted his hand and commanded, "Restore what has been taken." That order flashed like lightning, touching every aspect of your life, past, present, and future. Restoration has now begun. You will feel things return, your strength, your courage, your dreams, your vision. Ideas you thought were gone will reappear with multiplied strength, because heaven never returns what was stolen without increase. My beloved, do not fear what lies ahead. It may not be smooth, but it will be extraordinary, because divine reconstruction always begins with disruption. When you see things shake, do not be alarmed. Celebrate it. It means God is restructuring your foundation for something unshakable. Your home will feel changed. The atmosphere around you will shift. You may even experience moments of stillness so deep they feel sacred. That is not emptiness, that is presence. It means heaven has moved in where doubt once lived. My child, a specific instruction has been written regarding you. For the next 7 nights before falling asleep, whisper, "God, I am still listening." With every night you do this, a new door in the spiritual realm will unlock. And before the 7th night concludes, something long awaited will reach you. It may arrive as a person, a message, an opportunity, but it will come. God has declared, because they listened, I will honor their name in places they never imagined. Be ready for invitations, surprise messages, or moments that suddenly lift your spirit. These are not random events. They are divine signs that God's anger has transformed into affection.